Canadian filmmaker David Cronenberg has certainly been keeping a high profile lately. His newest picture, M. Butterfly, is the opening night gala for this year's Festival of Festivals tomorrow night. Currently writing, directing, and producing Crimes Against Nature, this is a new 6-part suspense series for television. His collection of props and special effects is also the subject of a bizarre exhibit opening tomorrow at the Royal Ontario Museum, no less. And as if that's not enough, Cronenberg was on hand for a special honor in Toronto earlier this afternoon. Cronenberg was joined by Paragon Productions President Carol Reynolds and Toronto Mayor June Rowlands, who presented him with a plaque in honor of his outstanding contribution to the city.
As a kid growing up in Toronto at 446 Crawford Street, it's just north of College, I knew right away that Toronto was a magical place where weird and wonderful things could happen at any moment. And this is one of them. Having a day named in your honor is really quite strange and wonderful. I think, in a sense, my whole film career has been my attempt to fuse with the city and to kind of become part of the city.
He's best known for his startling and bizarre pictures like Naked Lunch and Dead Ringers. And despite being able to shoot anywhere in the world, Cronenberg has consistently selected Toronto sites and Toronto-based crews for his movies. Look for his hugely hyped M. Butterfly, starring Jeremy Irons and John Lone, to make its gala debut tomorrow night.
And I might be one of the few people in Toronto who actually saw David Cronenberg's very first film.
What was that?
I can't remember the name of it, but it was about drag racing out in Alberta. It was.
You're kidding?
Yeah, it wasn't one of the top 10 of this decade, but he's
very
made up
few
for
of
it
his
ever
films,
since.
where The Fly was his only big hit. It was over $100 million. Critics have always loved his stuff. I've been in Los Angeles when one of his new movies comes out, and you pick up the LA papers, and they give him half of the entertainment, the front page of the entertainment. Say they love him. He's been criticized here. And some of them, sometimes they like his movies, but they, Naked Lunch didn't make a lot of money.
Yeah. And, I saw the trailer last night for M. Butterfly, which David Cronenberg directed, in which big things are expected of this, the film version of the Broadway hit, which I saw.
I saw in New York, and I was not impressed.
I was lukewarm to it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Won all those Tonys, but...
Yeah. And I also, a good friend of ours, George Chavallo, was in The Fly.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
Remember the scene where he's... I think he's sitting in a restaurant, and here's George, and we don't have to describe his physical presence, but he gets into some sort of a confrontation with Jeff Goldblum, who is in effect The Fly, and they arm wrestle. Do I tell you who won? You remember who? You saw this.
George.
No, that's the whole hook. The hook here's Jeff Goldblum at 135 pounds, and George's arm actually explodes. They took more than one take to do it, George tells me.
I would think so. They would have to calm George down for that one.